Hi, I'm Dave Bizzigotti, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Yes, you are. Hi, everyone. John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you on location from the Warwick Booth, famous in Warwick Booth, at the 2018 Summer NAMM Show, Nashville, Tennessee, with our old friend Dave Bizzigotti. How are you, Dave?
How you doing? I'm great.
I'm great, and I think the first time we ever met was at the Warwick showroom that they used to have here in Nashville.
Yes.
I think we were in line for food or drink or something, but
Hanging out,
having a good time.
Having a good time.
There's a lot to talk about with you and your equipment and your gear, so let's get right to it. You're from Asbury Park, I think, in New Jersey.
Long Branch, New Jersey is where I grew up.
So do you come from a musical family, and how did you become exposed to music, and how did you become a bass player?
I found my dad's records, and I played guitar for a little bit when I was a kid, taught myself.
I have to interject already. What kind of record collection did your dad have?
It was T-Rex, some Doors, the usual, 70s stuff that I love still now to this day. And then I played guitar for a little while, taught myself. And then one day my friend said, hey, why don't you pick up a bass? I picked up a bass, and all the Iron Maiden and the speed came natural, so I stuck with it.
Okay.
And then I ended up, I started out when I was about 16 in a death metal, in a cover band, like a loudness cover band, doing technical metal. And then I ended up in a death metal band called Ripping Corpse.
Well, your dad was probably cool with that, huh?
I don't know.
You don't care, right?
I don't know. He's not around, so, but that's okay. And then after Ripping Corpse died down, I got out for a little while. And then when I got back into California, when I moved there, I got back in. And then came back to New Jersey. And I've been kind of a hired gun. I played with a Pale Horse Named Death on the Danzig 25th Anniversary Tour. I ended up playing with the Wizards of Winter, doing like 6 shows for them, and while Greg was doing something else. And then I also play with Corey Glover in the Corey Glover band. Right now he's doing the 25th anniversary of him, so he's using the original band right now. Just basically a hired gun, getting around, playing a lot of different styles of music, learning a lot. With Corey, of course, it's a lot of R&B, rock and roll, what they call metal, it's very diverse.
Well, who were some of your bass heroes? I guess Steve Harris was probably one, but who were your other influences?
He was, but more,
Well, the first name you mentioned, I think, was Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Big influence of mine, but Jaco is a big influence of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Al Di Meola is a big influence of mine.
I interviewed him 3 nights ago.
Really?
Yes.
I love him. He doesn't know a lot of
4 nights ago. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
I discovered him in 1977. Changed my life.
Yeah, it changed my life too.
Interviewed him, by the way, for the other side called For Guitar Players Only.
Right on. A lot of my fills are influenced by Al Di Meola. The speed and just running them down and running them up. And
he told me he doesn't do any hammer-ons. He articulates every note with a pick.
And that's I articulate every note with my fingers.
Okay, and he even classical style. He doesn't hold it in the traditional classical way.
Doesn't.
Holds it like a guitar and uses a pick.
Yep.
And he's got that muting technique, so it's all very effective for him.
Yeah.
But let's get back to you.
That's all right.
Who are some of your other influences?
Really, my influence are life experiences, watching other musicians. In my I can't say I grab a little bit of everything from everybody, and it inspires me when I see something.
Hey, my wallet's missing. Did you grab my wallet?
If I see something that inspires me, I go home and I try to do it as close as possible, or I incorporate it into, like with Corey, we jam a lot of songs out, even the songs that are what they are, we jam them out a bit. And I'll take whatever I learn around the people around me.
It's interesting, though, that you mentioned guys like Al and Jaco as big influences,
Yes.
but from what you've told me, almost everything you've done is heavy rock and heavy metal.
Heavy rock, heavy metal, but at home, that's not what I am, So like I'm always practicing my theory. I'm always practicing. Like right now, I'm cramming the Nashville number system down my throat because I might come down here and try to get something, and this is what they want here.
People tell me though that once you learn it, it's really easier and better.
Easy. It's basically a chart, and once you know little, it's different symbols that they use, it's all good. It's coming real easy.
And this is the only place in the world where they use that?
Well, they would say that, but to me, no. I think it's just a different version of charting. You know what I mean? So it's just what they do here. And then not only that, but people take it for when they leave here. I've seen it happen where they take it with them, and it's a really easy way to write songs and chart it out and say, hey, here I am right here. This is the tempo. Stay within this key. When you're a bassist, you could use that chord and run up and down. You make things happen. Well, unless they're the songs are what they are. Those kind of songs with breaks and stuff like that. But other than that, my influences are everyday life, different musicians, even guitarists influence me. Because like with Pale Horse, I played a lot of chords, a lot of different types of chords, and it worked for me. And I hibernate, I put the time in, and then when it's time to do it, I show up knowing my material, and I got great gear. I'm using a lot of Tech 21. My main basses are my Corvette double bucks, which I just got a new one, a neck through, which is amazing right now. I wish I had brought it. It's over back at the room right now.
Let's talk about that. I mentioned we're at the Warwick Booth, famous Warwick Booth. Looks like they're pretty much all guitars behind us.
Yes.
But let's talk basses. Tell me a little bit more about Warwick and Warwick basses and what you like about them so much.
What I like about them is I like a heavy bass. I like a heavy bass to me means tone, and I love tone. And when I play the metal stuff, you ever
held Jonas Hellborg's bass? That's like 40 pounds.
I did, and it was gigantic. You were there when I held that, actually.
The first time was in Germany when I held it.
That's when you held it. I held it over here at the showroom.
Imagine how much it must have cost to ship a heavy bass like that all the way from...
Yeah, right. And I do have a couple of hollow bodies. I actually have a one-of-a-kind Warwick hollow body that's jet black with no binding. It's got a single coil at the neck, and I can pull it and make it a humbucker, and a single coil at the bridge. So it's an amazing guitar. But I'm trying to keep that at home now because it's a very expensive bass. So I'm using my two double bucks are my main guitars. And as far as amplification, I'm using Tech 21 VT1000s. They can't go wrong. I can even run those without a load and bring it to a studio. And I'm using their cabs also.
I like those people. Do you deal with Lloyd and Dale?
Dale's awesome. They really take care of me. They're really good to me. All of them. John, Dale, Lloyd. I love them to death. Yeah. They're like actually friends of mine. And then I'm using SIT strings. I'm using power wounds. So 45 to 105, and they work out good for me. And they last me about, if I'm doing a full tour, they last me about 3 shows, which is pretty good. And because I need to be bright when I'm doing, especially when I'm doing heavy rock and metal, and with Corey too, because for instance, I have a pedal board and I use TC stuff mostly, like a delay and a chorus. It gives me like a pseudo keyboard tone, and I can play keyboard parts in the beginning to fill in the beginning parts. But basically, it's a simple setup, 10-minute setup. It takes me 10 minutes to set up everything. Oh, and I'm using Shure Wireless also. So I'm a QLXD.
Okay. And with that style of music you mentioned earlier, you play with your fingers, or do you ever play with a pick?
I had to play one song with Pale Horse with a pick because it called for it, and it did make sense, But yeah, I play all with my fingers. Yeah. Even the speed metal, and that's my forte.
Okay. It almost sounds like you're getting away with something there.
No, I'm not getting away with anything. I full out do it. When I was doing the ripping core stuff.
I don't mean the technique. I mean the sound.
Oh yeah, no. It's been a lot of years in the making. In the beginning, of course, it was a muddy mess, back in the old days, but as I grow and the gear gets better, I'm very happy with my tone. It's very articulate, very tight. I kind of scoop my mids a bit just to create a pseudo compression type thing. Yeah. So it's a little punchy, but yet articulate. But because my finger noise, it's just like a pick. I have to scoop, that helps with with getting rid of that, and then taking the highs just a little bit under 12 o'clock. That works out too. Okay. And it makes everything nice and punchy and articulate. And like I said, I use a couple of pedals. I have an exotic wah that I love. I just started using. I love it. It's usually a guitar wah, but I just boost the bass on it a bit, and it fills it in and makes it nice and warm. and I like a high-powered amp because I like the headroom. It's not like you're going to use all that, but you have the headroom, and the amp's less likely to fart at a high level.
That's the technical term. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, headroom.
There you go.
I love headroom.
What about the future? What else is in store? What else? I mean, you've done a lot. What else would you like to do that you haven't already accomplished, that you haven't already mentioned?
I was hoping to. I was trying to get this really aggressive metal band thing going, but it kind of fell apart because the guy wants to ride his motorcycle. But well, Corey's doing a 25th anniversary of Hymns right now, so he's using the original band that did that record. Right. So we're going to wait and see how we'll let that pan through. I'll see what's up with him. I am back up for the Wizards of Winter, in case Greg, ends up doing something. But right now, I'm just, usually there's little lulls, and then all of a sudden somebody wants me, and I have to hibernate and woodshed hard.
Feast or famine.
Yeah, it's feast or famine. But I'm a technician, so I stay busy during the year, and I know a lot of theory, technical wise. I stay busy. But musically, I'm just seeing what happens right now. I'm getting through Summer NAMM right now, and I made a lot of new connections here, so a lot of old friends, and I love it. And I love these. I love these guys. Actually, take care of me really well.
They are good people.
Yeah.
And there's Hans-Peter Wilfer, the head, sitting just 10 feet away from me right now.
The family.
You'll have to take my word for it. Last question, Dave.
Yes, sir.
What would you be if you weren't a bass player? It's got to be something outside of music.
I'd probably be what I am, a low voltage technician. Certified on certified on 27 communication systems. I've been doing it 35 years since I was a kid. It was always my fallback. The one thing I did is realize, things might fall apart in the music industry. I need a fallback career, and that's my fallback no matter what. If I get slow, I can always count on that, and I do well doing it, But my passion is, I'm getting older. I would like to, go out just playing, and I think if I, who knows, maybe a move to Nashville is in my future, and I could stay busy here, I think.
It's growing and it's hot in more ways than one.
Yes. Yeah. And from what I understand, it's saturated with guitar players that are getting bass gigs, so there's only a handful of true bassists here, from what I hear from the local people here. So I'm going to take my chance. I might take my chance in the next 6 months or a year and come down here and, make it my last move of my life maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Obviously, you've been thinking about it if you're working on that notation system.
Yes.
So there you go.
Working on it hard.
Well, you know what? This was fun, sitting down for a few minutes and getting to share some of your thoughts and your experiences.
Thanks for taking the time with me. I really appreciate it, John.
Well, thank you.
I watch you guys all the time. I see you doing your thing all the time. And it's very informative at times, too. For me, when if there's a piece of gear, you pop up when I search for the reviews. I'm always reviewing something, and then I go try it out. And sometimes it don't work out for me, but a lot of times it's very informative, and it gives me a heads up on what I'm going to expect on a piece of gear or, whatever.
Well, thank you for your kind words.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, it's great sitting down with you for a few minutes. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think maybe we just scratched the surface a little bit on all we could talk about. So maybe we'll do a follow-up interview, and you can keep us up to date on what you ended up doing.
I will, and thank you. Thanks again for the time, man. I really appreciate it. You're welcome.
On location at the famous and Warwick Booth at the 2018 Summer NAMM Show, Nashville, Tennessee, with Dave Bizzigotti. I'm John Liebman. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Thank you, sir.